Hello, Dr. Jenn, the Intuitive Phoenix here to share with you my tips for getting results, results that you actually want. And the question that I have for you is, are you a squirrel? I sometimes pick cards from my oracle cards or my deck of cards that give me some insight or some direction in the course of my day. And I love this particular deck, The Secret Language of Animals Oracle cards. One, I get to learn some interesting things about some of the critters that we share the world with, and also give me some, as I mentioned, some insight into my day. So one of the complaints that a lot of clients will share with me is they don't have enough time. I remember this being an issue for me when I first moved to Asheville and opened my practice. I often could be heard saying, if I just had more time in my day, 24 hours is not enough. And I can hear the same thing from clients. Oh, I just didn't even have time to think about that. Bullshit. I am somebody who absolutely was one of those persons, one of those people working 12, 14, 16, 18-hour days trying to build my business, trying to build my practice, was still doing it up until the time I closed my practice earlier this year. And I would absolutely say it was because I was a squirrel. I was busy. We see squirrels constantly scurrying around and collecting their nuts. They don't typically seem to be still unless they're actually eating nuts. And according to the information I was reading today about a squirrel, for all they gather and hide, and because they're trying to hide them not just for future use, but they don't want other squirrels and animals to find them, that when it actually comes to eat them through the winter, they might find about a third of what they actually hid. And it brings up a good point that often what we're doing in the course of a day is creating a list of what we determine have to get done, and then we go about the business or the busyness of getting as much done as quickly as we can, often not taking into consideration what is ideal and optimal for our overall health and well-being and empowerment of ourselves, as well as getting the results that we're looking for. And what do I mean by this? Often people will update me or share with me that they had a rough week. And then when we actually dive into what led them to that belief and that conclusion that they had a rough week, with just a little perspective shift, actually shows, one, how much they did and how courageous they were, how vulnerable they were, how strong they were, how they persevered. And because they created, and I say they, I also mean me. I used to do this all the time. Because we created these stories about these rough weeks and these rough days and not having enough time, that we didn't recognize and give credit to what we actually accomplished and what we did do well, and sometimes outstanding. It get lost in the clutter of the stories that we tell ourselves. And why is this important? It's important because, one, we continue this pattern of these stories that keep us in the same place, keep us thinking that we don't have time, that we don't have choice, that we don't have freedom, that what we're doing is actually not having an impact or getting the results that we're looking for. And that's simply not true. So what can you do to determine or move yourself from being the squirrel, from the busyness that many of us find ourselves in the course of a day. One of those things would be look at what's on your list of what you have to achieve and ask yourself, is it in your highest and best interest to do those things on the list in a given day? Some days I have a list that I want to accomplish. I usually prepare it the night before, or it's been something that I've been creating over the last couple of days. And then I get up on a given day, and it's so clear that my body, my being is saying no. Like, this is not the best use of your time. Whether it's because my mindset, I'm not there, or maybe I'm not feeling 100%, or maybe I haven't slept well in a few days, or maybe something else is happening in my life that is just saying, today is not the day. Most of us, and this used to be me as well, would want to push through and say, no, I've got to get it done. At this point, if there is not an absolute deadline, if my body and being says, no, this isn't my highest and best interest, one, it's going to go on the back burner. Two, another question that I may ask myself is there something I can do to take care of myself so I am in the best state to move forward with what's on my list? So that might mean I'm going to take a break. I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to dance. I'm going to journal for a while. It may mean that I do some energetic clearing. So that way I can get out of my head that's spinning out of control and back in my body where I have access to my intuition. I have access to more than just the little bit of the brain function that I'm using when things are spinning out of control. That is often we're in a survival mindset. We've just got to get things done. We've just got to push through. When we get back in our body, that's where we open to more possibilities, to synchronicity, to luck, or at least that's what many people call it, when we're actually connecting to ourself in a more full, expansive way, and the universe, or how we're one with everything. We're going to get more out of any action we take once we reconnect to that than if we were just to push through and try to get it done. I was making a list earlier of some of the other things that we can do. But one of the biggest things is to stop, to breathe, and to reconnect to your body. Because when we do that, we can recognize that we're repeating patterns again and again. We can recognize that we're sharing the same story again and again. And when you find yourself saying the same things, especially when they're the same things that you don't want to be experiencing, it's time to stop and reevaluate and make some different choices. Because if you keep finding yourself back sharing the same stories, having essentially the same experience with the same beliefs of like, this doesn't work, nothing works, no matter what I do, it's not working. There's something else going on. And as long as you continue to be in your head, that thing is not going to shift. Another step that can get results is to be grateful for what you're experiencing, be grateful for what you have, and be grateful for the opportunities that are available to you to shift and change your current circumstances if they are not something you want to be experiencing. But going back to gratitude, and I call it gratitude plus, because gratitude can sometimes also keep us stuck and stagnant because we think, oh, well, we don't have it as bad off as somebody else. We actually have it pretty good compared to so and so and so and so and things that I'm reading in the news. That's all well and good, but you're not helping you or them if you stay stagnant, you stay stuck, You stay in your own repeating patterns of lack, of illness, of pain, of you fill in the blank. I had a client today share with me that she is so grateful for the work that we do together because she knows she can show up and not be judged. So something else that can be beneficial and important for us to do is to give ourselves permission to experience all of our emotions, to experience anger and rage and grief and sadness and that mixed bag of emotions that you don't even know what to call it. But letting those emotions out without judgment, without guilting ourselves for feeling what it is that we feel is crucial. And having the support system for people who can support you in doing just that. Anybody who knows, you're going to have a session with me, I always have the tissues ready because if my emotions come up in the course of a session, and sometimes they do, even though I'm talking to somebody else, I sometimes feel people's emotions or it triggers something in myself, I'm allowing those emotions to flow. I'm not shutting them down because expressing those emotions are super healthy and important for us to make shifts, release what's no longer serving us, and step into what we're empowering ourselves or what we're called to do. I hope this has been helpful. The key is if you're busy, 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 and you're constantly saying you don't have enough time, you've got so much to do, you can't even think about taking care of yourself, or you can't think about doing something that would benefit you, or you're not feeling well, you're tired, and you keep saying, like, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough time, then Squirrel is in action. And while the squirrel can be beneficial, it also does a lot of busy work. And I don't know about you, I don't want to be busy just to say I'm busy. Since I closed my practice in January, I have so much more freedom and flexibility. It amazes me. Now, if somebody would have told me a few years ago that that was possible for me, I would have thought they were crazy because I was used to doing. Lots of doing was going on in my life. And now I can tell you I'm connecting with people, my business continues to grow and expand, and I'm loving my life and the freedom and flexibility it has. I typically do not set an alarm in the morning. I am spending time outside each day. I'm often painting or reading or writing, and that's amongst my work responsibilities or what I'm choosing to do with my work as well. So it is possible because you are talking again about a consistent doer. Work my butt off. Well, now I'm finding that balance between doing and being and enjoying life at a level, well, that I didn't really think was possible, and now know that I do because I'm living it. If you have questions, you have comments, you want to know more, you want to dive into something, post those below. And if you want to see how working with me can help you transform your life, move in a new direction, get out of your way, get off the spinning wheel, then shoot me a private message. And of course, I also have an intuition course that's going to be launched here soon. If you're interested in that, that's been a game changer for me. Post intuition in the comments. All right, it's good to see you all. I'm sending love and health and ease in your transformation until we connect again. I'll talk to you later. Bye.